guys, Halloween edition Max Payne Monday from last year. Here we go. As you guys can see, most of us are in our Halloween costumes. I have a nurse skin, a collie outfit happening. I get to wear my mask. It makes bluffing a lot easier. Margot's in her Selena outfit, adorable as heck as always.
Let's go, DK.
We have DK in some sort of mafia getup.
This is a dangerous spot for the table.
In his hand, it looks like we're about to pull a DK, which actually we often do. For some reason, we just definitely seem to have his number. Bless his soul, I actually enjoy playing with him so much, regardless or not of whether I win.
No Broadway cards. F's in the chat for DK. Oh no.
You hate to see it.
Alright, the flop comes super innocuous. Unfortunately, DK has an overpair to the 7 high board. No draws. DK only has 5k behind, and the pot's already about 2,500 in this situation. So we bet 800, expecting to get all our chips in at some point on a future street.
I agree with you
DK likes that board. I don't even blame him for raising and wanting to get it all in this situation.
Exactly, which is why getting
we just flat here. We know we're super far ahead. Maybe if we shove, he calls us anyway.
Beautifully played by Schwan.
You know,
always gets paid here.
Almost certainly. But we also don't want to give him a chance to hero fold in this situation, so we just flat call. He only has 3k now, pot's already 7k. Again, we just expect all our chips to be going in. The turn is an innocent 3. Obviously, neither of us should really have a 3 in this situation. He decides to bet most of his stack, and at this point I know he's committed anyway, so I just shove. I mean, it seems like he's thinking about it, but I think he's just gathering his feelings and absorbing this moment and hating life, which, you know, we all can find time to do sometimes.
$13,000, that's a lot of money.
Sorry, DK.
Too good. It's a stupid amount of money.
Alright, in this next hand, we have Sashimi here in her Wednesday Addams getup that I lent her. DK calls with 8-4 suited. Sashimi's in there with 7-5 suited as well. We're in the big blind. We just call with Ace-8 dead man's hand and flop top and bottom. We expect to have the nuts here. Very often, there's no flush draws. There are straight draws, but it's multi-way. We were out of position, so we were hoping that someone would bet at some point. No one did. Finally, on the river, we fill up to a full house. Decide to bet 2/3 pot. Hoping that someone raises us, hoping that someone has an 8 in this situation. Unfortunately, this is another cooler for a DK.
But he still is holding his cards. Now they're gone, and now for the exciting part.
It's obviously the worst card in the deck for him.
The requirement.
He makes a 3x raise, and obviously we're going to re-raise his hand.
One of the best feelings in poker.
It's just about the sizing, and we effectively put him all in. We leave a few hundred behind.
Do we think DK can get away from it?
So in spots like this, our reputation definitely precedes us. You know, sometimes we make kind of
DK is chopping with some bad eights.
speculative raises
Four
and
kicker
put
isn't
a lot of
torn.
pressure on our opponents with not so great hands. And this is a situation where my opponent's always gonna think if I'm just messing around with them for a good reason. Unfortunately, I just have the goods here.
And DK does pay it off. You won $10,000 coming your way. Another tough spot for DK, and you know, it's these hands like an 8-4 where I said it earlier, even if you hit your hand, you still can find yourself in tough spots. Just like he did right there.
Ace king versus kings would do that to the
fair.
internal body temperature.
Then I'm rooting for an
80,
ace.
yeah?
Oh yeah, straddle here.
80 straddle, make it 2.
Did you luck, Billy?
All right, in this third hand, we have DGF raising from early position with the old 10-5 offsuit. DK calls from the hijack with 9 offsuit as well, dominating him. Sashimi's on the button, flats here with a pair of 6s, set mining. We have ace-jack from the big blind. We definitely want to 3-bet to isolate, clear out the field a little bit. Often have the best hand. Ali G has a very good hand here. If I was him in this situation, I might look for a 4-bet.
The whole deck is covered here. It would be a miracle.
Flatting's also fine. It just allows all those other players to come along with. We are 5-way. I flop top pair. There is a flush draw. In this situation, I definitely want to be betting to thin out the field a little bit. Doesn't have to be a very large bet. We don't want to, you know, scare away all the hands that we dominate. And if we do get played back at, you know, ace-jack is not the best hand to stack off for if we're super deep. There's still a few stacks over 10k in this situation.
It looks like
So DJ Washburn calls. He has a gut shot and a backdoor straight flush draw, actually. DK decides to check his hand and see if he wants to call here with second pair and potentially hit trips or 2-pair.
Last place.
yeah, this is, I think DK needs to just let this
Yeah,
go.
unfortunately, this is ill-advised. I would not be calling here in his situation. Not only has Sashimi left to act, chances are that either DJ Washburn or I have an ace in our hands and he's just 2 behind. And he doesn't even have a spade.
Okay, he lets it go.
I like that.
Sashimi also lets it go. We are now heads up.
Washburn called with the 5-4, so he needs a club or a deuce.
Before you knew it, you were committed.
9 there, so.
Turn is a 5, so he does make a pair. Pot's 6,500. You know, we're 15k deep, so, you know, 2.5x pot behind. We both check. I didn't bet here because, as I mentioned, I don't necessarily want to stack off with this hand. I think this is a hand where I can potentially get 2 streets of value with top pair, okay kicker, but not 3 streets. He does have all the aces ups in his range. Not a lot of 2 pairs otherwise, but you know, we also want to keep some of his bluffs in and you know, just make it easier to play on later streets. On this river, after it goes check check on the turn, we do make a small bet.
Could be a stretch here.
He has 4th pair on the board, but once again, our reputation
Giving away
is
a lot about his hand.
what's keeping him thinking here. I think against most opponents, he would gladly fold his pair.
He wants to call.
He didn't
also.
even think about raising, which was nice. That's not really a raising hand either.
When their eyes start darting around, looking at the board, that's when you can tell
But
that they want to find
it definitely
it.
made us feel more at ease relatively quickly.
You look up when you kind of
Once he
feel
talks
it
this
out,
much,
right?
I
So you
want
see
him
when
to
his
call. I
attention
think he has a
focused
10
his
here.
eyes are moving fast. He's fidgeting. He's really looking for a reason to
It is
call.
a small enough bet, and sometimes I guess
Yep,
I can have
see, he found
spades, but I get paid off and
Extra pure.
win a nice pot. In our last hand,
And now she has
Sashimi
aces,
limps
and it's
from
going to
early
look
position
like
with
she's
10-5
steaming.
offsuit.
Always
She's
great to get that
definitely
the
figured
monster
out how
is a
to
big
play that
pot.
VPIP game by getting
Nobody
that
gets
number
tired.
up. We show up with aces. We're obviously going to raise. LAG causes with the Jack-8 suited from the cutoff. You know, not ideal, but I guess we're kind of deep and I'm pretty wide, so it's whatever.
This
DGAF
is
now from
music
the
to
big
Schwartz.
blind.
And we don't
know what he
just
has,
yet.
but he knows it's me, so it looks like
We
he's
haven't seen his
going to
hand yet. Let's see if he puts
raise
it
to
onto the square here.
$640.
Nice farmland.
DK folds his Jack-3 offsuit, comes around back to us.
LEG,
We could call,
lets it go. He was about to
but
be a
obviously we're not going
chocolate
to
chip in
because
his
we have
hand.
aces and we are deep enough,
All right, let's see,
so
pull
we are
those
going to
cards back,
4-bet
brother.
to a healthy
Jack.
size. We make it almost 3x.
This is very dangerous.
We are now heads
Yeah.
up. Pot's almost $4,000. SPR of around 4.
Uh-oh.
Around
Wow.
20K.
Okay, thank you.
He actually has a legitimate
I'm the
hand
one that had
here.
10K.
I also would have flatted the 4-bet.
And he has top pair again.
He's out of
He thinks this is
position.
deja
He
vu, but
checks
it's
to the
not.
4-better. We are going to make a continuation bet of half pot. I
Must
think the
feel
size is okay.
like it's going just like last time.
You have a
We
king?
have an overpair. We have a lot of ace kings in our range.
This time she wants you to have that king.
What did you have last
Yeah,
time? I couldn't
pot's
hear you.
already 8K after that initial
Queen
bet.
eye,
We
okay.
now have SPR of less than 2. Still sizing so that we can get all the chips in by the river. 6 on the turn. We don't expect him to have a lot of 2-pair combos or straights in the situation.
He's gonna get it all back
Maybe
here.
he has a set
Unbelievable.
once in a while with 9s, 8s, or I guess 6s would fold on the flop. So few combos that we're really concerned with.
What do you
Again,
have
we are
since I
just
already told you what I
sizing to make it super easy for him
I have a 7.
to get the chips in. I guess on this turn, I could have made it smaller,
How else would I be able to bet?
but I didn't actually expect him to fold
Wow, it's a bad
king
table
here,
talk from
so
Schwan. She
kudos.
shouldn't have said that.
for him.
You think you gave it
See,
away?
yeah, because
I
why
don't
is
know
she saying
about
that?
Raver
Why is she saying that? She's
Poker's
saying that to
assessment
lower
here.
his
I
perceived
did
range
tell
of
him
what
that
she
I had a
wants.
7,
She's
which is
practicing
likely,
restraint.
but
Yeah. It's the opposite
I
of
don't
what
think
you're
a 7 is a
asking
weak
for.
card in this situation. In my head, I was actually trying to show that I was strong. So I guess Raver's assessment that it was bad table talk was correct, but for the wrong reasons. But anyhow, thank you for joining me. That was definitely less of a analysis, more of a reaction video, since I'm not really, doing any deep analysis here. But hope you enjoyed that, and hopefully see you at the next video. Bye, guys.